So welcome everyone to Bitcoin Design Guide, jam session number 40, first one of 2023. Are you used to writing 2023 yet?
No, so it's still the new year.
Yeah, excellent. Well, hope everyone had a nice break. So here, since we have a couple new people, this is usually our open chat working session. It can be whatever we want. What we end up doing a lot of times is we just chit chat about what everyone's working on. Yeah, anyone can bring up blockers, things they want to do. And a good thing right now is, so before Christmas, we kind of wrapped up a lot of our work. So now, we have a clean slate. And a good thing that we can do today is set up a new milestone, which is usually 3 weeks long, but we can change it if we want. We just put in a few tasks in there, and then that's just the stuff that we try to get done. And then we just work independently and discuss asynchronously otherwise outside of these calls. And then we meet again in 3 weeks. That's usually the format. So I started a notes document here that I shared in the chat. And we can maybe first chat about talk about what you want to do, what you want to talk about. Then we can add that to the notes, and then we can just go through it one by one. So what's going on? Yashraj, I know you probably want to talk about your design challenge. Stain, you want to talk about pins, right? Any other? Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it. No, go for it.
Any other topics that? Okay, I don't know, was there something posted? Awesome. Okay. Yeah, cool. Real quick, Stephen, do you have anything you want to chat about?
Everything I want's already on the list there.
Okay. And then also welcome Shapiro. Feel free to chime in or just listen in as you desire.
Thank you. No, at the moment I'm just learning and trying. I've just joined the group, so I'm still learning. I think maybe in the future we have something to contribute.
Okay, awesome. Sounds great. Feel free to ask anything. We would help. And also, hello, Pedro.
Thank you. If anybody needs any help, they can let me know.
Okay, cool. What type of help do you like to provide? Are you like in illustration or copywriting or research or design, or you just want to do it all?
In terms of research and as well as design in Figma.
Okay, great. That's good to know.
All right.
Okay, cool. Should we, Yashraj, I know you've been working on, this is probably since before Christmas. If you want to start with yours, because that's kind of a longer standing one, I think maybe that's a good one to start with.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Let's go. I was not expecting to be doing it the first thing around, but yeah, I am happy to talk about it. So I think a few weeks back, I think in the third week of December, I saw that Stephen had organized a call about pay joins, and so I was interested in it, and primarily because I didn't know anything about it. I was interested in the idea, but I didn't know anything, and so I went through the call, and I saw that there was a design challenge that had been posted, and I thought, yeah, this is my opportunity to learn about it. So yeah, I started, I guess, like reading about it. Yeah, got obsessed with it. I don't know why. And then yeah, I reached out to Steven, to Dan, who has been very helpful actually, and I've learned a lot, and I have a running document as of now, and I am very much, very much open to any feedback. I am hoping that I am towards the end of it right now, but you never know, how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
Is there something that you wanted me to talk about specifically? Because I feel like I just said something.
yeah, no, that's a good overview. So Dan also he asked me about it as well, and I guess my question is, what is your ambition? Did you take this design challenge just to personally learn, or do you? Because I know Dan also worked on a similar project, and there was some discussion about implementing it. Or do you want to? Are you thinking of continuing? I guess the expectation between you and Dan that you're going to work on this and you're going to refine it, and this becomes a real product. Or where do you like? Where would you like to take it? Where do you think that should go?
Um, Yeah, so I think that's a great question, right? So I just posted the link to the Google Doc that I've been putting the thoughts in, kind of structuring the document based on the tips that are there on the on the design challenge page, right? So structure for the document, as you folks can see, it is very much work in progress, but feel like I'm towards the end of it. And I think in terms of like uh, talking about where I want to go with this, I think the first intention was to learn about this. And as usual, it is kind of a rabbit hole, but I think that was essential to learning about it.
Yeah.
And then I think the whole idea of pay join is really interesting, because like coin joins are amazing, but they have their issues. And pay join is kind of is kind of fixes coin joins in a way. I think about like about it like that sometimes. And on-chain privacy is something like privacy in general that I'm something very passionate about. And I think it's not something unreasonable to expect, but because of the way the chain works, it is we have chain analysis going on. And so pay joins sound like a great idea, but since it requires coordination between parties, it's not very straightforward, I guess. And of course there are some other complications, but the idea is like hopefully this design challenge document and like any other work that I can do around it, like hopefully it can make implementing pay joins in all wallets easier. And hopefully like someday we could probably have a decent percentage of Bitcoin on-chain transactions being pay joins, and that would go a long way.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the idea behind this.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so it almost seems like this would be a good thing to finalize or to wrap up in some type of blog post or article where it's like, there was this challenge, I did this research, here's this,
Yeah.
this, and this for anyone working who wants to work with pay joins, here's, the wireframes and the user flows and the logic and maybe some other references. And is
Yeah.
Dan still, is he continuing to work on this?
Yeah. So actually, I think this is the part that I should have mentioned during my overview, right? So I think the way that my discussion and my work with Dan is going is that Dan already has the no looking app on the Umbrella App Store, right? And what it does is that it does these on-chain transactions, and it creates lightning channels, several of them, right, out of them. So the idea is the same. There are multiple inputs and multiple parties. Presumably the idea is that you get your coins of exchange and directly put them into several lightning channels, right? And so PayJoin is kind of very much in the mix because of the way it works, right? And so I am hoping to continue this design challenge work at least into the looking app, and make the user experience for that app uh, better, right? And so hopefully a lot of people use Umbrel and the no looking app. Like, again, it if I'm understanding it right, like you gain privacy, you open lightning channels, and so it allows you to do several things in one go. So I guess that is where it is heading. At this point, I think I realized that I have not really talked about page joins or its user flow at all, right? So I've been
Yeah.
just talking about the context, but it seems to me like there is a lot of it. And yeah, but I'm happy to go into the user flow, any other user issues, the Google document itself, any of that, and of course, open to all feedback, ideas, criticism, so on and so forth.
Yeah, so for me, that I those were kind of my questions too, is because it'd be amazing if at some point there was an article or something
Yeah.
else, some document or so that could live on and other people can build on top of. That's what I'm always thinking about. But what does everyone
Yeah.
else think? Any questions, thoughts, feedback for Yashraj?
No questions at the moment. I guess I was just thinking about, depending on how this project evolves, could be good material for the case study section on the guide. If you're not familiar, Yashraj, we just sort of almost sort of they're sort of like blog posts in a way. We only have one up right now, and it's just about the work that Mo and Mia did on the Blixt wallet. But the idea is that other projects could be added there. So this could be a good kind of place for like a write up or something about like here's what the problem was. Here's how we discussed it and worked on it. Here's what we ended up coming up with. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think Christoph also mentioned it earlier, I- or I think we were talking about it in the DMs, and so I think that a case study might be a good idea as well. Like, if you look at the design challenge doc that is like work in progress, I think very quickly in the first couple of days, 3 days around Christmas, I think I realized that there was so much more to pay joins and the pay join user experience that was beyond the scope of the design challenge, I guess, right? Because the challenge is that Bob wants to make a large purchase and he wants to use pay joins to like do it, right? And so that is the scope of the design challenge per se. But there are several things that seem outside of that scope, but that are very much critical to pay joins. Like, for example, since this is multi-party transaction, there is coordination involved, and so the receiver has incidentally has to do a lot of work to enable the pay joint transaction. And so, and I'm not sure how many payment processors there are right now that actually implement the BIP 78 or any other flavor of pay joints, but it seems like there are a lot of requirements and a lot of things that are needed from the receiver side, right? And so that was not part of the challenge, and so I have not really touched it too much. But if you open the exam file, you can see that there is a merchant section towards the beginning and then towards the end, right? And so I am like barely touching some of the things that I feel that 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 these things are important, because the merchant again is likely to be someone whose business is, in the case of the design challenge, that he's a jeweler, right? And so being that kind of a business, like, you are completely involved in that business. And you can't have the time to like investigate what this is, and then setting up hot wallets, page join servers, and all of that. So so there is definitely scope for like a more broad-based write-up about it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the design challenges they're intentionally very small and very open.
Yes.
You're welcome to just spend a week on it, but you're also supposed to be able to just if you just want to do some stuff in Figma or so, just
Yeah.
design some screens. You
Yeah.
can also just spend a few hours on it. It's intentionally very open. You
Yes.
chose your curiosity led you very deep into this, and that's awesome. So how about we as kind of a we kind of is it okay if I just put in here that we kind of try I mean right now we aim for a case study write up
Yeah. Yeah.
based on the work that you've done and you just have to yeah you just I guess you just kind of have to let us know. We can create an issue for it if you want to track it that way, and
Yeah,
then
sure.
you just kind of have to share an idea of if you still want to do more research or if you feel like okay everything you have right now can be just packed up in like a write up and then it's good to go, or how you want to go about it. But we can tackle that in the issues because we're already 20 minutes into the call.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry if I've been like rambling too much about it. And another quick thing about like the design challenge itself. So by the time I read that I was supposed to spend like 5 or 6 hours into it, it was too late. I was like a few days into it. So yeah. So I think the next time around, I have to be more careful about like what is the scope of this challenge and how much effort am I supposed to do in this activity. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's open. It's totally up to you. Okay, cool. We'll follow up with an issue, and then we'll continue the conversation there and on Slack. Stein, you also had I mean, maybe your investigation into pins was a little bit similar. So for context, there's a long thread in, is it in general channel or is it in the Bitcoin Design
I
Guide
think the
channel?
wallet improvement project.
Oh, yes. I'll grab that and I'll share it.
Wallet improvement. I'll share it here.
Okay,
And
thanks.
okay, awesome. And let me find this real quick. Somewhere in the savings wallet, we have a mention about pin.
Yeah, it's onboarding section.
This one here? Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have to mention it on the screenshot description.
Yeah, down here. Yeah, and so Stein was looking into how that would work, and I had lots of questions, and we discussed Photon and the 2 of 2 security model that it implements. And it gets kind of complex with an encryption key that's on the server, and then you have your seed used to decrypt the encryption key that's then used to decrypt your backup that's in your iCloud, and what happens if one gets lost or the other gets lost. So and we don't describe that at all in detail in the guide right now. So so Stein has been asking, gathering that information, and you're interested in doing a write-up on specifically that aspect, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll do a write up on the summary that I provided in that thread, and then I'll just share the Google Doc in one of the channels. I think you recommended Wallet, one of those. So I'll just share it there, and then people can comment. We can elaborate on it if needed. Otherwise, I was thinking of let's start there, and then let's see what's the best place to put it. I was thinking of just doing like another like a H4 heading underneath the onboarding H3, but yeah, let's see where it goes. Not sure.
Okay, yeah, so I'm just taking notes here. Okay, sounds good. That could be another nice, and I'll open up an issue for it too and share that one in GitHub so we can track the progress. Cool. Were there any questions around that from anyone else? Thoughts, feedback? Everything's super clear.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Christoph.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your contributions. It's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, happy to just kind of see how things fit together and so on. So yeah. yeah, thanks for all the responses and the feedback on that.
Yeah, the thing is, Photon is actually quite complex. I've been familiar with it, but it took me another few times of reading it very, very thoroughly in our discussion to really understand the details of it. Everything's just complex in Bitcoin.
So I guess maybe I have a follow-up question on that. So when you originally imagined the PIN step in that savings wallet, did you imagine kind of using Photon as that part, or I'm not entirely sure how you see Photon fit into this? Is it conceptually using it? Is it using the SDK, or what do you imagine?
So I did not imagine anything because the savings wallet. So we spent a ton of time on the daily spending wallet to really figure that out in a ton of detail. The savings wallet, it's currently on its second iteration, but there is a big issue somewhere to turn that into a really big case study where every single one of these features is really fleshed out. So it's much more closer to a more realistic spec and design of an actual product. So right now, the savings wallet is just one page. It would be great to end up at a point like the daily spending wallet where we have 12 pages, and one for the onboarding, one for key rotation, one for the security features and whatnot. So we're just not there yet with this reference design that we covered everything in that amount of detail. But we have people like you and everyone else here to chime in.
That sounds good. I've got another question in terms of validation and so on. So there's some research happening that's more like, I guess, qualitative research to help validate some of these features. I'm wondering around the kind of in-field, like in customers' hands types of validation where these wallets become a reality, and getting feedback from these app developers or whoever else is kind of building these wallets. Like, is there a loop that's existing already to kind of get feedback from the market and then feeding that back into the guide, or is it not quite there yet?
I think there are multiple aspects to this. One is that everyone who works on the guide is very deeply involved in different types of projects. Some of them multi-sig, some of single sig, some of Lightning. So there's lots of hands-on stuff. There are also various people in the community that sometimes chime in. There are various discussions happening all over the place. We've also done evaluation of actual products, like actually tested and set up and used some of those wallets. But yeah, there's probably always we can do more that we can do to really push out some of these features and get that market feedback. But there's kind of a very complex back and forth between everyone in this ecosystem.
I can add a few notes maybe. Hi Stein, I'm Daniel. On the previous note you mentioned about backups and stuff in the savings reference wallet. I think I did maybe the previous version of it, and like Christoph said, there's no specific one in mind, but I have thought quite a lot about that. And in the end, it comes down to the app developer, what they want to optimize for. If they want to optimize for, maximum kind of, no trusted parties, etc., and more, the user has to do a bit more work, or if they want to do the opposite, help out a bit more and more automated stuff. I'm happy to kind of answer questions on that offline. You can always Slack me in the Slack. And when it comes to this feedback loop you mentioned, I'm actually at the moment trying to implement the daily spending wallet reference design. So yeah, again, like I'm kind of first trying to implement what we have, but then also kind of, finding, rough spots with it, things we can improve, or, things that could eventually feed back into it changing.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
yeah, sorry, go ahead, Stan. Go ahead.
No. You can go.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go for
Okay.
it. That's fine.
No, with regards to doing UX research, Christoph is at the moment building like this mega prototype of the daily spending wallet. It's taking quite a while because
It's done
like
already. Just looking it up.
Okay. So that's another. Okay. So that's already ready.
Yeah.
And I guess what we'd like to do eventually, I guess, is actually test out that that big prototype that he's created and actually see how people react to it, because then we know if what we've created is working as it should. So I think that's maybe probably something that we'll end up doing within the community, but it's a mega thing at the moment. So it feels like we'd have to decide on a few end goals that we want the people to achieve, and then kind of test out those paths separately. So yeah.
That sounds awesome. So there's a shorter kind of feedback loops that you can easily get through usability testing and things like that. And then there's the longer form feedback loops. For example, well, we realize that people tend to cycle through many iCloud accounts, and that gives us problem X. But you can only get that type of feedback loop as you get into the market, and you get months and months of data getting back or whatever else.
What do you
that's so yeah, that's definitely a thing. So a team that works hardcore on a very high level in one specific product for years will always have the best sensitivity for what works or for what doesn't. And we do need to keep in touch with these people and learn from them. And there are various people in the community too, like Tancred, who's done the Photon SDK. He actually lives here in my city. Meet up with him here and there and chat about things. So yeah, but for sure, that's for long term. But that's also where each product team, like Daniel said, they kind of need to hone in on their specific user base, use case, and their specific execution, whether it's desktop and mobile and all of this stuff. Yeah, it's a sensitive, complex thing.
Yeah. Mo, did you wanted to add something or ask a question?
No, I noticed, I was looking at your profile on Slack. I noticed that you were the lead UX designer at Luna, if I say the name correctly.
Yeah.
Luno.
Not Luna.
Do you guys use a lot of usability testing there, or is there anything else that you guys do in terms of research?
Yeah, so usability testing, but obviously, so we've got a lot of quantitative data in emerging markets, which is often very different from more kind of developed markets. So yeah, so that's kind of the balance there.
Cool. All right. Sorry for diverging. Was just curious.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Mo is the UX research expert champion here. So if you'd like to talk about that topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. Yeah, so I'm particularly interested in, well, I'm obviously interested in both, but I really care about the quantitative side as well of data that you collect as you kind of spend months in a market. That often tells a different story. You kind of get different information back. But yeah, I was just curious around that and how it works with these two wallets.
We can talk about it outside of the call. I'm happy to chat about it outside. I'll just message you on Slack.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mo.
I still haven't found any good multi-sig wallet that actually works out of the box and is somewhat easy to use. So we still have a lot of low-hanging fruit we need to take care of. Anyways,
Yeah,
we're about halfway through the call. Should we kind of see? So next one, you're also going to create that write-up. We'll share it. I'll create an issue for it, and then we'll take the next steps. Stephen, you have an open PR with a header image. Since that's active, do you want to chat about that one real quick?
Oh, I completely forgot about that one.
I think I complained about or something in the last one.
Yeah, and then I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I don't think even anything else, just the puzzle is fine. Maybe the whole puzzle could just be 4 times 3 pieces, and you see the whole thing. Each piece represents one word of the recovery creates 12 pieces equals 12 words, and putting them together in the right way creates the whole. Yeah, I could do something conceptual like that. I don't know if that would be too literal for you. I know you like that kind of artsy, symbolic kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I could just do something with 12 words for you.
You're also more than welcome to ignore my feedback if you feel strongly about yours, or if everyone else wants to give feedback. So basically, Stephen was working on the header image for this page. And these banner images, everyone's different on every single page, and it's meant that everyone who does them can kind of have fun creating something creative, as long as it kind of communicates something, not literally necessarily, but adds something to the page where you see it and you're like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. Right?
Yeah, I was just teasing you there. Yeah, I mean, one idea I had was originally with I don't know, I wanted to do somebody hammering their seed phrase into some giant piece of steel or something, and the flames of Mordor with some Viking hammer or something like that. But, I don't know, that might be a little too much. Yeah. So, anyways, I mean, if anyone, we can. If anyone loves it, we can merge it today. But yeah, I can also keep monkeying around with it. I can do some other puzzle variations if you guys want to see some just other things on the puzzle pieces. I'm flexible.
I always complain about things. So maybe everyone else, if you just hop on GitHub, there's a link there. You just say, cool, you hate it, love it, or whatever. And then Stephen has some more feedback to work with. You can more confidently ignore whatever I'm saying. Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel, either way, I'm cool either way. Cool, that leaves, was there anything active, anyone's actively working on or doing that we should go through?
I have the the dinosaur in the room, the personas, which was opened in, let me see, was this in 2019? Let me have a look here. 2021, November 9. So just to give a little bit of background, we wanted to add some Bitcoin personas to the Bitcoin design guide. And Patricia, who was a researcher within the community before, she did some interviews, got some personas out, and I'm now basically trying to filter her UX research into just a neat little concise kind of little article write-up so that Bitcoin companies can have some user personas to refer to. So this is a little bit of a dinosaur, which it's almost there. It's almost there.
Okay, and so this document that I'm looking at here, which is linked to from, I'll share that comment real quick. So that's this would be a new page somewhere in I don't know, designing Bitcoin products / personas or something like that, or conducting research / personas, and it would explain for people who, developers or people who are not familiar with it, what the point of a persona is, what it is, what it's used for, practically why it matters, a quick brief on how to come up with one, and then the 4 example ones, which are summaries of the ones of Patricia's research is 25,000 words or something like that. So this would be like a small sheet for each one, basically, with kind of the keys. And then if there's a product that's like, okay, this seems like this is the type of person that will use my product, then they can just take this and maybe they can modify it or so and do whatever they want with it. But at least they have a starting point. And then also a bit of info about how to work with it. And I think something else we talked about was that there are 10 million articles about personas in general on the internet. We don't have to, for a lot of stuff, we can just link to them, right? But we can add in unique bits about personas in Bitcoin.
This is wanting to be, I think I started off a bit broad when I started writing it, and then I really narrowed it down because, as you said, you can find 20,000 different resources about personas. So this is really Bitcoin focused, and the list of the questions over there to come up with a persona is what we actually did during a UX research phone call. So these are questions that a group of people came up with. Stephen was on that call, and I was on the call, and a couple of other people from the community. So we're trying to keep it as Bitcoin focused as possible. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's just maybe some feedback, and then we can see if we okay to put it as a write-up.
Yeah, first of all, any other questions? Any thoughts on this one?
Last time I read it, it's been a while, but last time I read it, it sounded pretty good to me. I'm sure I left some, typographical stuff or some nits here and there, but largely looked good to me. I think the main thing I commented on last time was just the user journey thing. And I think we agreed on some prior call that we wanted to have some kind of component that could be used in the code to generate the user journey stuff. So, I mean, I'm happy to help with that to, make the page look nice. So yeah, I could, if this is going to be on the next milestone, I could work on the user journey component portion of that, like to make the graphics formatted nice.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I added it to milestone 18 just now. Yeah.
I'm happy to add in. I'd like to get up another case study, because at the moment I'm just looking here. There's a possibility to prepare a case study about BTC Pay, what was done in the designathon by Yashraj, actually, because there was quite a process that was followed. There's also a possibility to prepare one for LNDG, and there's also a possibility to prepare one for merchant work that Mia did. So those are 3 possibilities of additional case studies, but maybe just try to not be too ambitious and just go for one right now. But yeah, I don't know what you guys feel about that. If you want one more on the merchant wise, or maybe something about BTC Pay, or something about LNDG, which is node management. They're really different, all 3 of them.
Yeah, let's how about you share those ideas and then we just discuss it in Slack.
Yeah, cool. I'll do that.
So everyone can just read. I mean, if you have a document to link to, please add that, and then everyone can just kind of look through it. Stephen, I wanted to talk about merchants real quick.
Yeah, sure. And real quick before I forget, I just added that open pull request with the header image. I just added that to milestone 18 as well. Just seems like a small issue. Seems like it should be achievable. Yeah, I mean, I'll just post this link into chat here. This is ongoing merchant table of contents. I haven't really gotten any feedback or criticism on this, so I guess I'll just proceed with it unless anybody has any criticisms on it. But yeah, basically, I've just gone through. If you look at the document, I've just gone through and kind of outlined either places in the guide where we might be able to kind of edit or modify existing content, update an existing page to have things. And then I've also outlined, pages where I think a new section would benefit. So I think just some kind of we already have open issues for 2 of these on here, the how it works, fiat over lightning, and then multi-currency display. I could go ahead and open up issues for the rest of the things on this table of contents, and then we could triage it accordingly. I know that was the most boring thing I could possibly say about the merchant section.
Yeah. No, I mean
it really was.
I feel like it would be great if we could just pick, you basically just suggest, pick a page or 2 and just make it, right? Just put something together.
Well, that's what I meant by adding an issue and then triaging and working on it. So
yeah, exactly.
So for the the fiat over lightning page, I'm ready to start working on that one for the next milestone.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to add that one.
I was just looking at something here too. I saw Boomi. Let me pull that up. Boomi had a thing where anyone out there who wants to learn some Bitcoin Lightning development wants to build a simple point of sale UI with me.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I'm wondering if there's some potential way where we have, we have a developer or multiple developers working on a point of sale where we can also, match up with them a little, collaborate a little bit, and then use that to create this type of point of sale page for the merchants section of the guide.
Yeah, it could be a good way to knock out two birds with one stone.
Yeah. So, and in a way, there would be a design would be the result, and kind of an explanation of features and how it works and how to treat whatever. And then at the same time, there might be code output if the collaboration with the devs works out well.
Yeah.
Okay, so but let me do one thing at a time here. So we have this issue, how it works, adding it to milestone 18. Okay. Page. That's in. Okay. So that's cool. Okay, and this is something, sorry if you already said it, just trying to manage multiple things here. Is that something that you want to do in the next 3 weeks, or just get started, or just gather information, or what's
why don't we just say that I'm going to do it in the next 3 weeks and then see what happens?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of joking there, but yeah, I'm going to try and get it done the next 3 weeks. I mean, I've already. I feel like the only reason I'm taking this one on because I feel very, very well equipped to talk about the all the different methodologies. So I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to work on it. And I'm trying to do two things at once. I'm like trying to open up issues for some of the other stuff on here, and I'm also finding stuff where we already have issues for some of these. So
okay. So I'll ask Boomi then what his plans are with this point of sale, and if there's interest in tag teaming.
Yeah, that could be cool.
I think the Galloy team also just worked on a point of sale, at least this keypad thing. I mean, it depends on what you mean by point of sale, if it's also a product selection and tipping and other stuff, or if it's really just a keypad and invoice.
Well, so it kind of depends on what part of my document you're looking at. So I actually already have for the stuff that Galloy's been doing. I actually already have something down here at the bottom, towards the bottom of the document. It says case studies, Galloy cash register.
Yeah.
I think we should just add a case study for that. That seems like the best. That seems like the most logical place already in the guide for that kind of content. Yeah, we've already got so much material to work with there because Mia shared so much in the open as she was working on it. So yeah, I think that we should definitely use the Galloy content for that. For the part where it says, in-person merchant POS, I was really thinking more like a reference design for that one. So something that kind of looks and feels like like it came from the same company or brand as the daily spending wallet.
Yeah.
But I think that would be ripe for the collaboration with Boomi. I think it depends what the point of sale Boomi wants to build. Like, is this like a Get Albi like branded, you know, terminal, or is it just kind of is it for like another project? Because like yeah, if we're putting something forward as a reference design, like I feel like it would look nicest if it like had the you know kind of conformed to the same look and feel. Having said that, if he is trying to produce an Albi point of sale terminal, nothing wrong with that, and you know we should still you know look to a potential collaboration there. Just saying that like you know for what actually ultimately makes it in as a reference design, might want to like tweak that just so that it has the same look and feel. But I mean,
Yep.
yeah, I'm all on board with the idea of.
Do you think Mia would be open to help write that case study? That would be ideal, of course.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we should talk to you know Mia or Andrew or somebody. But I mean, yeah, I think that would be great if she wanted to if she was willing to write that on her own. That would be cool. We should ask.
Yeah, because is this so we're referring to a merchant case study, right? For the work that Mia did on the ones that we tested, basically.
Yeah, and honestly, there's actually further stuff that we didn't actually really look at on that call. But she worked on this whole process for where you can kind of build your own cash register. Um, it's kind of a feature in the Bitcoin Beach wallet where you go to like I think it's like the settings menu or something. It's like, hey, make a new cash register, and then it'll create like a link, you know, like pay.bbw.sv slash whatever your username is, and it's like a cash register link. And so then I can take my Bitcoin Beach wallet, I can make a new cash register, and then I can send somebody else the link. So when me and Pavel start our coffee shop together, and I run 100% of the operations, and he's my employee, I can send him a link to my cash register, and he can start ringing up customers on my behalf without being able to steal my Bitcoin.
Yep.
I just took complete control of that business. Sorry, Pavel. I know we said we were going 50-50 partnership, but this is my coffee shop.
Maybe we can reach out to Mia and ask her if she'd be open to, you know, creating something, writing up something together, or you know, I think she'd be open to it.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, we have 8 minutes left here to the hour. Are we good with merchants section?
Yeah, I think so. We got something on the next milestone. That's always good, and we'll have issues open for the rest of these soon.
Okay, so I added 2 issues earlier. Those are both things we talked about at our meetup last year. And so the thing is that for the newsletter and social media accounts, we have kind of a README document in our meta repo that no one will ever find, right? And it's just very short. And we could use some more contributors and make the process more public for posting to those various places. And so the idea was to create dedicated pages at bitcoin.design/newsletter or bitcoin.design/social media, where it describes these are the accounts that we have, this is what we're doing, this is the goal, here are the current editors, thank you to all of our previous editors. If you want to contribute, here's how you do it. And just to make all of that a little bit more visible and maybe interesting for people to be part of. So I would like to get that. That was one of the things that I would like to get out early this year, because then maybe we'll get more people to help out with things. And also with the newsletter, we just started this process. We'll see how it works. Where when one newsletter is done, we create a Google Doc for the next one with a draft. We share it with everyone in the community, and anyone can add news that they think should go in the newsletter for the next edition. And ideally, then the editors have a little bit less work to do. Because they're already contributions. We'll see how that goes. But I think that's another aspect of just making this whole process more communal. And so I would like to, for this milestone, I'd like to get those pages done. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Utterly reasonable.
Yeah, reasonable would be the right word.
Oh, it's not ambitious enough? Is that what you're saying?
I think it's rational and purely within conformance of my expectations.
Steven, you're so good.
Nice.
Steven's so good. Oh goodness. Yasha just claps. It sounds reasonable. That's what, yeah.
Okay. All right, amazing. Cool. Then I will work on those, and I'll create Google Doc drafts and I'll share them, and then try to collect feedback. But I don't. I think those will be too crazy complicated to get out. Okay, cool. What else?
Uh, Hi everyone. I just wanted to quickly jump in. So I think a month back or so, I think we had a chat about the spaced repetitions thing, right?
Yes.
And I am like creating a write-up for I think this could be a web page on its own, probably. I don't know, but I have like created a write-up about it, and I've been trying to find mock-ups or like screenshots from actual apps that use this to the extent that they do. Yeah. So the documents right there, and what I've been doing is, uh, s- uh, Christoph, could you like just open the document, please?
Yep.
Thank you so much. So I created a bit of a write up, and I've been trying to add some screenshots or like mock-ups and all of that. So I am like, I would like some feedback on this. I know that it's not very different from the thing that I put in the GitHub comment earlier, but I would like feedback on like how can I finish this, and is it right? Like, is it good? What are the issues? Like, I just feel like all I need is a few screenshots or a few like prototypes, and then maybe this is like ready to go on the website. I don't know. Yeah, so as you can see, like the comment was just like a quick idea dump, and now I've like created a bit of a document out of like a write up out of that.
Yeah. How about I just added it to Milestone 18. Why
Yeah.
don't we also do that? I think it's a good addition. I mean, the spaced repetition is a technique, right? But the larger
Yeah.
idea is that you repeat certain things so people get acquire good habits, and that
Hmm.
could be security reviews, it could be memorizing, vocabulary when they're learning a language, could be all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And I know the Apple Health app has this thing where it sometimes pops up that says,
Hmm.
hey, maybe check that everything's set up the way you want it or so.
Uh-huh.
And those can
Hmm.
be pretty helpful things. Um, it's not great when social media tries to bug you about every stupid little thing
Yeah.
to get their active user account up. But if it's
Hmm.
done well, especially for security, I think it's a very good thing that needs a certain kind of a sensitivity in how it's executed. So I think it's a good thing to add. What does everyone else think?
Yeah, I think for sure, because it's a, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one.
I just had a quick thing about that is that, as I like wrote the write up, I felt like, maybe some of the things that I mentioned in my comment earlier, maybe they don't qualify for spaced repetition, like making sure that I have the right things. Like, for example, could you like go to the document again, Christoph? Yes. So if you scroll up, yeah. So here in the examples, like the first one is like the reviewing the security checklist. Now I feel like this should be like regularly spaced. Because I'm not trying to learn something or to like recall something,
Yeah.
so this could be regular. So one question would be, does this fit on this page? Maybe not, or maybe yes, because if we are like, depending on the scope of the web page and what we are discussing, right?
Which page was that one on?
I think currently you have just one line on the security page of the Bitcoin design guide. So that was where
Here.
it was. Yep, right there. It was right there actually. Just if we scroll up just a little bit,
We got
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. And I think Daniel had suggested that I like do a write up or something like that, and I kind of did it, and I didn't want it to fall off the like the tracking list. I want to do this and get it out.
I would let's I need to review your document. I can't say
Yes.
off the top of my head right now. I feel like this is security. It's like being kind of a security companion to the user is an important thing. So maybe it
Mm-hmm.
warrants its own page, because the security page covers all kinds of different stuff. So I don't know. I mean, let's figure out the content and then figure out where it fits. I feel like that's a
Yeah.
better approach. And if we feel like we have a lot of stuff to say that's valuable and useful to for designers, then we'll find a place to put it.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, so we have a bunch of stuff lined up. We're at the hour. I think Daniel already hopped off. So let me just add that in here real quick. Spaced petition content. Okay, I feel like that's enough for this milestone. As usual, the most important thing is that we're kind of responsive. We review each other's stuff. We get each other feedback. We bug each other about what we need to get stuff done. And if we do that, then we will get it done. So how does everyone feel about this? Does it sound like a good plan here?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yep,
Sounds
yep,
good.
Okay, awesome. Then I will
Thanks.
stop the recording real quick. Thanks for anyone who chimed in. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. Very surprised you're still watching this, but you're awesome. So I'm going to stop here.